Hello dear friends, welcome back. In our previous session, we explored the evolution of the regulatory framework of microfinance institutions in India, including the role of RBI guidelines on client protection, interest rate caps, and the importance of transparent practices. We also discussed how regulations ensure responsible lending to vulnerable populations. However, microfinance has become a cornerstone of financial inclusion in India. By providing access to credit, savings, insurance, and remittance services, microfinance empowers low income individuals and households. Over the years, the Indian government has recognized the immense potential of microfinance for economic growth and poverty alleviation. This recognition has resulted in a series of policies and initiatives designed to regulate, promote, and support the sector. In this video, we will dive deep into these government policies and initiatives, examining how they have shaped the microfinance landscape and contributed to the financial upliftment of millions. Let's look into early government initiatives in microfinance. Starting with the role of self-help groups. The self-help groups are commonly called as SHGs, bank linkage model, was one of the earliest and most successful government-backed initiatives to promote financial inclusion. Initiated in the 1980s and formally recognized by NABARD in 1992. This model allowed small groups of people, mostly women, to pool their savings and provide small loans to each other. The SHG Bank Linkage Program allowed these groups to later receive credit from banks, expanding their financial reach and helping rural communities gain access to formal financial services. This initiative not only fostered savings habits among low-income groups but also empowered rural women, many of whom became financially independent for the first time. Let's look at some of the key points. As of 2020, over 10 million SHGs had been linked to formal financial institutions. The program helped introduce financial literacy and build confidence in marginalized communities where access to formal banks was previously non-existent. Secondly, rural development programs. Other early government initiatives also set the stage for the rise of microfinance. The Integrated Rural Development Program IRDP, launched in 1980, aimed at providing income generating assets and skill development to the rural poor. Although the program faced challenges such as mismanagement and high rate of non-performing assets, it laid the foundation for more robust microfinance initiatives in the later years. In 1999, the Swarna Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana SGSY was introduced to merge self-employment with microfinance, allowing rural poor to access loans through SHGs. The program integrated both credit and subsidies, helping SHG members to start small income generating activities. Let's look into some of the key points. SGSY's success lay in its ability to merge credit access with skills development. It was one of the first government programs to focus specifically on micro enterprises for poverty alleviation. Now, let's look on to the key government policies for microfinance development. The priority sector lending norms. A major boost to microfinance came through the RBI's priority sector lending norms. PSL mandates that commercial banks allocate a certain percentage of their total lendings to sectors like agriculture, small scale industries and microfinance, which are vital for economic and social development. This policy has had a transformative effect on microfinance sector, ensuring that banks have a strategic interest in lending to microfinance institutions. PSL norms have also encouraged partnerships between MFIs and commercial banks, allowing greater financial integration. Let's look into some of these key points. Banks have committed significant capital to microfinance under PSL norms, helping millions of low-income individuals access loans. PSL guidelines have formalized microfinance within India's broader financial system, ensuring that rural and underserved populations are not neglected. Next, microfinance institutions, development and regulations 2012. In 2012, the Indian government introduced the Microfinance Institutions Development and Regulation Bill, a comprehensive attempt to regulate the microfinance sector. Although it was not passed into law, the bill laid the groundwork for many of the regulations that govern MFIs today. The bill proposed several key reforms such as allowing the RBI to regulate MFIs, setting guidelines for interest rate and recovery practices, and introducing a national microfinance registry. Key points: the bill's failure to pass did not prevent many of its ideas from being adopted by the RBI. It served as a precursor to more structured regulations that MFIs follow today, ensuring transparency, accountability, and even client protection. Next, Small Finance Banks SFBs policy. In 2015, the RBI introduced the Small Finance Banks policy, which allowed MFIs to transition into formal banking institutions. This policy expanded the services that these institutions could offer, such as accepting deposits and providing micro savings accounts. The conversion of MFIs into SFBs not only enhanced their sustainability but also allowed them to offer a broader range of financial services, particularly to underserved populations. Key points: the establishment of SFBs bridged a critical gap in India's financial ecosystem by offering both credit and savings products. As of 2021, several prominent MFIs, including Ujjivan and Equitas, had successfully transitioned into SFBs. Further, legitimizing microfinance within the banking system. Now, let's throw some light on major government schemes supporting microfinance. Starting with Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, PMJDY. The Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, launched in 2014, that is 2014, is one of the most ambitious financial inclusion schemes in the world. It aimed to provide universal access to banking facilities for all households. This scheme directly benefited the microfinance sector by connecting millions of microfinance clients with formal banking channels, reducing their reliance on informal money lenders. Let's look into some of the key points. As of 2020, over 400 million Jan Dhan accounts had been opened, many of which are held by women in rural areas. This has enhanced financial literacy and encouraged savings among the previously unbanked population. Next, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana. Another flagship initiative, the Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, was launched in 2015 to provide access to credit for micro and small enterprises. Mudra, or the Micro Units Development and Refinance Agency, provides refinancing to banks and MFIs that extend loans to these enterprises. Mudra loans are categorized into three types: Shishu, up to 50,000; Kishore, 50,000 rupees to 5 lakhs; and Tarun, 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs rupees. These loans are designed to help micro entrepreneurs, especially in rural areas, to establish and expand their businesses. Key points. By 2020, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana had disbursed over 9 lakh crore in loans to micro enterprises, helping to create job and foster entrepreneurship. The scheme has significantly boosted the role of MFIs in distributing loans and formalizing credit access. Next, Stand Up India scheme. The Stand Up India scheme, launched in 2016, focuses on promoting entrepreneurship among women and SC/SC communities. The scheme provides loans ranging from 10 lakhs to 1 crore for setting up greenfield enterprises. Although Stand Up India is primarily a banking initiative, MFIs play a critical role in identifying eligible entrepreneurs and providing them with initial financial education. Not only these, let's also look into some of the government's focus on women empowerment in microfinance. Starting with Mahila Samriddhi Yojana. This is launched in 1993. The Mahila Samriddhi Yojana aimed to provide rural women with access to credit and foster their economic independence. The program was implemented through self-help groups and linked microfinance with women empowerment. Next, National Rural Livelihoods Mission. This was launched in 2011, and the National Rural Livelihood Mission focuses on improving rural livelihoods with the particular emphasis on women. By linking SHGs with the banks and promoting financial literacy, NRLM has been instrumental in expanding access to credit for rural households. To conclude, the Indian government's various policies and initiatives have not only transformed the microfinance sector but also uplifted millions of people, particularly women, from poverty. By fostering financial inclusion and promoting entrepreneurship, these initiatives have paved the way for a more equitable and prosperous society. However, as the sector continues to evolve, it will need to keep pace with technological innovations and emerging challenges to maintain its impact. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of microfinance services and self-help groups. These essential financial products are transforming lives one loan, one remittance, and one lesson at a time. Until next time, let's continue to explore the ways in which financial inclusion is making the world a better, more equitable place. Thank you and stay tuned.